It was a normal Tuesday morning. I was sitting at my little table, eating cereal and checking my phone. The day felt quiet and boring. I didn't expect anything strange to happen. I didn't expect anyone to visit. But then, knock, knock, knock. A hard knock hit my door. The twist? It wasn't a neighbor. I opened the door a little and saw a man in a suit. He looked serious, like he never smiled. He held up a badge and said, "Mr. Brooks, we're here to discuss your disability benefits claim." My stomach dropped to the floor. My heart started pounding because I had never applied for disability benefits. The twist? He spoke like he already knew me. I opened the door all the way, and the man stepped inside. He carried a thick folder under his arm. He sat down at my table and opened it. I felt frozen, like my feet were glued to the floor. I didn't know what to say. The twist? The folder had my name on it. He turned the first page and said, "This is your claim file." I leaned closer. The paper showed my full name, my address, and my social security number. Everything matched me, but I never filled this out. My hands started shaking. The twist? Someone filled it out for me. Then he pulled out a doctor's note. The paper said I had a severe back injury. It said I couldn't work. It said I needed disability money. I felt confused and scared. I never hurt my back. I never saw this doctor. I never signed anything. The twist? The note had a signature that looked nothing like mine. The man flipped to the next page. "The claim was approved," he said. "You've been receiving monthly disability payments of $1,600. I nearly choked on my own breath. $1,600? Every month? I never saw that money. I never touched that money. I never even knew about it. The twist? Someone had been paid for 11 months. He showed me the total on the page. $17,600. My whole body felt numb. My chest felt tight. My mind couldn't keep up. $17,600. And all of it was under my name. The twist? The government thought I had taken the money. I whispered, "I didn't do this." The man looked at me carefully. His eyes narrowed like he was trying to see if I was lying. "Then someone used your information," he said. "And we need to know who." My throat felt dry. My hands felt cold. The twist? Someone close had to know my social security number. I thought about my family. I thought about people who knew my personal papers. I thought about anyone who ever asked for my ID. The room felt like it was spinning. Because deep down, I already knew. The twist? Someone had stolen my identity again. And this time the government was involved. After the investigator left, I sat on my couch and stared at the wall. My mind spun in circles. Who would use my name? Who would take money in my place? Who knew enough about me to steal my whole identity? The twist? Only one person in my family always took from me. Growing up, my older brother Tyler was the perfect one. The golden child. The hero. The one everyone clapped for. He was captain of the football team. He took shiny pictures for the newspaper. Every family photo had him front and center, smiling big. The twist? Behind those smiles, he left a trail of problems. Mom always said the same thing. Tyler deserves the best. She said it when he got special snacks. She said it when he stayed out late. She said it when he got in trouble and they blamed life, not him. But she never said what I deserved. The twist? Being the good one meant getting nothing. What did I get? I got to clean up after him. If he made a mess, I swept it. If he forgot something, I fixed it. If he needed help, I dropped everything. The twist? He never said thank you. I drove him home when he was too drunk to walk. He sat in my car smelling like beer, laughing like nothing mattered. I held the wheel tight and prayed he wouldn't get sick on the seat. He would say, "You're the best, bro," then forget the next day. The twist? His fun nights became my scary ones. I also paid his parking tickets. Every single one. He said he lost them. He said he didn't have the money. He said, "You're good with cash. Help me." I used my savings. He used my kindness. The twist? He didn't stop getting tickets. Every time he messed something up, I fixed it. Every time he broke something, I replaced it. Every time he failed, I rebuilt the pieces. Tyler lived like there was no tomorrow. I lived fixing yesterday. The twist? He depended on me more than I ever saw. So when the investigator showed me the disability claim, with my name, my social security number, my pretend back injury, my fake doctor's note, my stolen money, a cold feeling hit me. Because there was only one person bold enough. selfish enough, thoughtless enough, to sign a whole government claim in my name. My brother Tyler. The twist? I should have seen it coming. He spent years ruining things around him. Why wouldn't he ruin me next? As I sat there, holding the fake disability paperwork, my heart dropped into my stomach. Because now I knew the truth. My perfect brother wasn't perfect at all. He was the parasite feeding off my life. And the biggest twist? He wasn't done hurting me yet. The next day, the investigator came back with more papers. I sat at my small kitchen table again, my legs shaking under the chair. He opened the folder and pointed at a page with a red stamp. My eyes followed his finger. The twist? The money wasn't going into my bank at all. He said, the disability payments were sent to a card under your name. I swallowed hard. A card? Under my name? I never opened a disability card. I never asked for one. I never even knew they existed. The twist? The card wasn't mailed to my house. The investigator said the card had been mailed somewhere else. He turned the page. I leaned forward. My heart started beating fast again. The address on the paper looked familiar. Very familiar. It was my parents' address. The twist? My parents had the card with my money. My hands went cold. I felt the room tilt a little. I said, why would it go there? The investigator looked at me and said, someone used your information when they set it up. They said you lived there. But I hadn't lived at that house in years. The twist? Someone pretended I still lived with them. He showed me a list of documents used to make the claim. My social security number, my full name, my birthday, my work history, even a copy of my ID. All of it was mine, but none of it was used by me. The twist? Someone had taken everything without asking. He also showed the doctor's note again. The paper said I had a severe back injury. It said I couldn't work. It said I needed money each month just to survive. I stared at the words, confused and angry. The twist? I worked 50 hours a week lifting boxes in retail. My real life didn't match the fake story at all. I carried heavy items. I stocked shelves. I loaded carts. I never missed work for a back injury. But someone had used my name to say I was hurt and helpless. The twist? They used my hardworking life to steal money. The investigator tapped the paperwork and said, this is fraud, Mr. Brooks. Fraud. A word bigger than anything I had expected. A word that meant someone did something illegal. Someone used me to commit a crime. My chest felt tight. My hands shook. The twist? The government thought I was the one who did it. I closed my eyes and thought about everything. The money, the card, the fake injury, the forged signature, the stolen identity, and then Tyler, my brother who always needed more. My brother who always found the easy way out. My brother who always used my kindness. The twist? It all pointed to him. The investigator said, we need to find out who took your money. I nodded slowly. But inside, I already knew. I knew exactly who stole it. And the twist? He didn't just steal money. He stole my whole name. My hand shook the whole drive to my parents' house. I held the papers on the seat beside me. Every time I stopped at a light, I looked at them again. My name, my SSN, my fake injury, my stolen money. I felt sick, but I needed the truth. The twist? I already knew who I feared hearing it from. When I walked inside, the house smelled like old coffee. Mom sat on the couch, flipping through a magazine. Dad watched TV with a bored face. Tyler was on his phone, smiling at something stupid. None of them looked worried. None of them looked guilty. The twist? I was the only one shaking. I held up the papers and said, we need to talk. Now. Mom didn't even turn her head. She just sighed and said, Aaron, don't overreact. Overreact? Someone stole almost $18,000 in my name. Someone pretended I was hurt. Someone lied to the government. The twist? She acted like I was upset over spilled milk. Dad finally looked at me, but his face didn't show guilt. He looked annoyed, like I was bothering him during his favorite show. He crossed his arms and said nothing. He didn't ask what happened. He didn't ask how I felt. The twist? His silence felt louder than yelling. Tyler sat in the corner smirking. Yes, smirking. Like this. The whole thing was some kind of joke. Like he was watching a funny movie. My heart pounded in my chest. I could feel anger boiling in my stomach. The twist? He didn't look scared at all. I spread the papers on the table. This is my SSN, I said. This is a fake injury. This is $1,600 for 11 months. Someone faked all of this. Mom rolled her eyes. Dad sighed. Tyler picked at his nails. The twist? None of them reached for the papers. Then I looked straight at Tyler and asked, "Who did this?" Tyler shrugged. Just shrugged. No fear. No shame. No worry. He leaned back and said, "Bro, you weren't using your benefits. Relax. Relax." The word hit me like a punch. The twist? He spoke like I did something wrong. Relax? Relax? My name was stolen. My identity was stolen. A government check went to my parents' house for almost a year, and the person who stole it was sitting there telling me to relax. I felt my hands ball into fists. My throat tightened. My brain buzzed like a broken radio. The twist? He truly believed he did nothing wrong. I held up the page showing the money total, $17,600. I shouted, "You stole this. You took my name. You took my money." Tyler rolled his eyes and said, "Come on, man. It's family. We needed it. Family." He always used that word to excuse everything he broke. The twist? They only said family when they wanted something. Mom stood and said, "Stop shouting. We'll fix it later." Dad waved his hand and said, "Don't make a mess." Both of them acted like this wasn't huge. Like this wasn't serious. Like this wasn't a crime. The twist? I realized they knew the whole time. I looked at all three of them and felt something heavy fall out of my heart. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't confusion. They worked together. They stole from me together. And the twist? I wasn't safe in this house anymore. The room felt hot. My face felt hot. My hands shook with anger. I waited for anyone to tell the truth. But instead, Mom opened her mouth and said something that made my stomach twist. The twist? She sounded like she was giving excuses, not answers. Mom said, "We only used your name because Tyler didn't qualify. He hurt his knee. He needed help." Hurt his knee? Help? My mind flashed with confusion. Tyler was strong. Tyler was active. Tyler ran, jumped, danced, partied. What knee injury? The twist? Mom spoke like it all made perfect sense. I turned to Tyler. He shrugged again. Like always. He said, "You make money." I was struggling. Struggling? The word hit me hard. Tyler? Struggling? Tyler had the newest shoes. Tyler had a nicer phone. Tyler had a louder, newer car than mine. The twist? His idea of struggling was not getting everything he wanted. I thought about his weekends. Every Friday and Saturday, he went out with friends. He wore fancy clothes. He bought drinks. He laughed like life was perfect. Meanwhile, I worked 50 hours a week. I carried heavy boxes. I saved every dollar. The twist? I struggled more than he ever did. Then I remembered something awful. The knee injury. Tyler told everyone he got hurt. Playing football. Mom told people he slipped on ice. Dad said he twisted it on the stairs. But I knew the real story. Tyler sprained his knee after jumping off a bar counter at a club to impress a girl. He bragged about it for weeks. The twist? His injury was caused by showing off, not by real pain. I held up the disability papers again. "This," I said. "This whole thing is a lie. You told the government I couldn't work. You pretended I had a back injury. You stole money in my name." Mom looked away. Dad stayed silent. Tyler picked dirt out of his nails. None of them denied it. The twist? Their silence was the confession. Mom said softly, "Tyler needed support. He couldn't get the benefits himself. You're the strong one." The strong one. They always called me that. Not because I was strong, but because I was useful. They expected me to carry every burden, even fake ones. The twist? Being strong was just their excuse to use me. Tyler added, "Bro, it's not a big deal. The money helped us all. You should be glad we trusted you." Trusted me? My chest tightened. They didn't trust me. They used me. Used my name. Used my life. Used my identity. The twist? Tyler acted like stealing my life was a compliment. I looked at all three of them. My mom with her fake calm smile. My dad with his annoyed face. My brother sitting like a king on a broken throne. And it hit me like a punch. They didn't feel sorry. They didn't feel guilty. They didn't feel worried. They felt justified. The twist? They believed destroying my life was completely okay, as long as it helped him. After hearing their excuses, I knew I needed proof, real proof. I took a deep breath, opened my phone, and logged into the disability card account the investigator told me about. My hands were shaking so much I could barely type. When the page loaded, my heart dropped. The twist? The money wasn't saved. It was already spent. I clicked on the first month of payments. Right away, I saw something that made my stomach flip. Tyler's car payment $540. A payment I never made. A car that wasn't mine. A bill I never agreed to. The twist? My stolen money kept his shiny car on the road. I scrolled down. The next charge hit even harder. Dad's base fishing boat deposit $900. A boat. It's a wreckable. Old boat. They used disability money meant for someone who couldn't work to put down cash on a boat for fun. The twist? They spent my life on something that floated. Then I saw a charge that made my mouth fall open. Mom's new phone $1,199. She once told me she couldn't afford anything nice. She once told me to save my money. But here she was buying the newest phone with my stolen benefits card. The twist? She spent money she said she didn't have because it wasn't hers. The next charge almost made me drop my phone. Tyler's Vegas trip $2,300. Vegas. The city of parties. The city of loud music, bright lights, and wild nights. Tyler always lived like nothing could touch him. Now I knew why. He wasn't using his money. He was using mine. The twist? He vacationed while I worked double shifts. Then came the smallest charges, but somehow the ones that hurt the most. Grocery store. Beer runs $87. $112. $66. $44. Again, and again, and again. They didn't use the money for bills. They didn't use the money for food. They used it for beer. Cheap beer. Drinks they laughed over while I struggled to pay rent. The twist? They drank away the money meant to ruin my life, not theirs. Page after page, I scrolled through charges I never made, things I never bought, places I never went. It felt like reading someone else's story, except it was written under my name, my identity, my SSN, my future. Every swipe of that card was another cut. The twist? My whole life wasn't just stolen, it was spent. I sat back in my chair. My chest felt tight. My eyes burned. My hands were cold. I whispered, I can't believe this. But deep inside, a tiny voice said, I could believe it. Because this wasn't the first time my family used me. But this time was different. This time, they didn't just use my money. They used my whole identity. The twist? I wasn't just hurt. I was erased. My hands were still shaking from the card history. I felt sick, angry, hurt. I walked into the living room where they all sat like nothing was wrong. For a moment, I stared at them, my own family, who had used me like a broken machine. The twist? They didn't even look scared. I took a deep breath and said, I'm going to the authorities. The whole room froze. Mom gasped like she had seen a ghost. Dad stopped mid-step. Tyler's smirk disappeared. My heart pounded fast, but I didn't back down. The twist? They cared more about getting caught than what they did to me. Mom clutched her chest like she was in a movie. She said, How could you do this to your family? Do this to them? They stole my money. They stole my name. They lied to the government. They broke the law. But somehow I was the bad one. The twist? Mom made herself the victim instead of me. Dad stepped forward, his face red. He yelled, You'll send us to jail. Jail. The word hit the air like a hammer. I didn't say I wanted them jailed. I just said the truth. But if jail was the first thing he thought of, that meant he knew exactly what he did. The twist? Dad admitted guilt without meaning to. Tyler stood up fast and pointed at me. You're a rat if you do this. A rat. So telling the truth made me a rat? But stealing someone's identity didn't make him anything? Using my SSN wasn't wrong? Taking government money wasn't bad? He looked angry, but not sorry. The twist? He cared more about his image than my life. I tried to speak, but Mom cut me off. She walked closer, shaking her head. Then she said the sentence that crushed me harder than anything else that day. We fed you for 18 years. This is nothing compared to that. My whole body froze. My chest hurt. My hands curled into fists. So, feeding your own child was payment? And using me was the change they thought they were owed? The twist? She believed my life belonged to them. That did it. That one sentence. That one moment. The last piece of loyalty I had left inside me snapped like a weak string. All the memories of helping. All the nights I worked extra hours. All the money I saved. All the trust I gave them. It all broke. I looked at them, the people who were supposed to protect me, care for me, love me, and I didn't see a family anymore. I saw 3 people willing to destroy my whole future to make their lives easier. The twist? They never expected me to finally push back. I stepped away from them. My voice felt calm now, almost cold. I said, "If you won't fix this, I will." Mom cried. Dad yelled. Tyler cursed. But nothing they said mattered anymore. Because the truth was clear. They didn't lose a good son. They lost someone they thought they owned. And the twist? I wasn't theirs to use anymore. Right after leaving my parents' house, I sat in my car and cried for a few minutes. Not because I was weak, but because everything hurt. My name, my money, my trust, my whole life. All of it had been taken by people who were supposed to love me. The twist? I wasn't crying from fear anymore. I was crying from anger. When I got home, I wiped my face and opened my laptop. No more avoiding. No more waiting. No more hoping they would do the right thing. I needed proof. Real proof. So I opened all my accounts and started saving everything. The twist? The truth was worse when it was all in one place. I downloaded bank statements first. Every deposit. Every withdrawal. Every strange charge I didn't approve. There were pages and pages of things I never bought. The twist? My money told a story I never lived. Then I saved the transaction logs from the disability card, the car payment, the boat deposit, the Vegas trip, the beer runs. All of it was written there in black and white. The twist? Every number was proof of betrayal. Next, I added the forged doctor notes. Fake injury, fake story, fake signature. Someone had signed my name so badly it almost looked like a joke. But the government believed it, and I almost got blamed for it. The twist? The handwriting alone showed I wasn't the criminal. Then I saved the false claim forms. The pages said I couldn't work, said I needed help, said I was disabled. Meanwhile, I was lifting boxes at work every day. The twist? My real life proved their lies. I found the form that used a fake address, my parents' address. That was the final piece. The place where the disability card was mailed. The place where the money was taken. The place where the scam started. The twist? They didn't just use me, they planned it. I put everything into one big folder on my computer. The name I typed made my hands shake. Identity theft. By immediate family. It looked so official, so real, so painful. But it was the truth. The whole truth. And I wasn't hiding it anymore. The twist? I finally felt like I had power. The next morning, I met with the investigator again. He sat across from me as I handed him the folder. He opened it slowly and read through the pages. His face changed from calm to shocked to angry. He looked up at me and said quietly, "Aaron, you didn't deserve this." I felt my throat tighten. No one had said that to me in months. No one had sided with me. No one had believed me. Until now, for the first time, I felt seen. He saw the truth. He saw my pain. He saw the damage they caused. And he believed me. The twist? I wasn't alone anymore. After I handed the folder to the investigator, everything moved fast. Faster than I expected. Faster than my family ever imagined. I thought things would take months. But the truth works quickly when you finally shine a light on it. The twist? For once, time was on my side. Within 2 weeks, I got a letter in the mail. It said the disability benefits connected to my name were frozen. No more money leaving my name. No more payments going anywhere. No more lies being used against me. The twist? My identity was finally safe again. The next message came from the investigator. He said Tyler had been flagged for fraud. That meant the government knew the truth. He lied, he stole, he cheated. He used my name to take money he didn't earn. Tyler wasn't the hero my family loved, he was a criminal. The twist? The golden boy finally got caught. Then came the biggest shock. My parents were now being investigated for mail misuse. Because the fake disability card was sent to their house. Because they opened it. Because they used it. Because they knew the whole time. The twist? The house that once felt safe was now a crime scene. Another letter came next. This one made me breathe deeper than I had in months. It said the responsibility for all the stolen payouts, the $17,600 they took, now shifted to them, not me, not my name, not my record, not my life. The twist? The weight they put on me now sat on their own shoulders. That same day, my phone started buzzing, and buzzing, and buzzing. When I checked the screen, my eyes widened. 47 calls. In one day. All from my parents. All from the people who said I was selfish. All from the people who stole from me. The twist? Their panic didn't move me at all. I didn't answer a single call. Not one. I sat on my couch, listening to the phone vibrate, and I felt calm, quiet, still. The silence I gave them was the same silence they gave me when they used my name. The twist? Ignoring them felt like freedom. But Tyler didn't stop there. He texted me, "Bro, I'll pay you back. Stop the case, please." Stop the case? He wasn't sorry. He wasn't scared for me. He was scared for himself. He only cared because he got caught. The twist? He didn't owe me money, he owed me a whole life back. He owed me the years he took, the trust he broke, the peace he stole, the nights I cried, the shame I carried, all because he wanted an easy way out. But I wasn't his easy way anymore. I stared at his message, then turned off my phone. Because the truth was simple. He owed me the life he tried to destroy, not the money he wasted. And the twist? This time, he couldn't take anything from me ever again. After everything that happened, I knew I couldn't stay in the same place anymore. Not after the lies. Not after the fear. Not after the way they used my name like it was a tool, like it was theirs to twist and break. The house held too many memories. And the worst part? None of them were good anymore. So I did the one thing I never thought I'd be brave enough to do. I packed. I folded my clothes slowly, like saying goodbye. I grabbed every important paper. I owned my ID, my work papers, anything with my name on it. I put everything into a single suitcase, zipped it shut, and stood in the doorway for the last time. I didn't cry. I didn't shake. I didn't look back. I locked the door, turned the key, and walked away. The twist? Walking away felt lighter than staying ever did. The very first thing I did in my new place, the moment the door clicked shut, behind me was change my phone number. No more calls from mom saying, "Just help your brother one more time." No more angry messages from dad telling me I was overreacting. No more begging texts from Tyler asking for a little help until Friday, which never came. My phone finally stayed. Quiet. Completely quiet. At first, the silence felt strange, like when a loud room suddenly goes still. But then, slowly, it began to feel different. Safe. Soft. Calm. The twist? Silence became my new peace. Next, I did something I should have done years ago. I filed a credit lock, a whole armor of protection wrapped around my name. No one could open anything under my identity ever again. No more fake credit cards. No more fake loans. No more fake benefits. No more surprise letters in the mail saying, "You owe us." For the first time in my life, my name belonged to me, not to someone desperate, not to someone greedy, not to someone who knew how to fake signatures that looked too much like mine. Me. Just me. The twist? My identity finally came home to the person it belonged to me. After that came the hardest part. The part I avoided. Because I thought I didn't deserve it. I paid for a therapist. And the money I used? It was my own. Not stolen. Not borrowed. Not guilt money. Not something I was tricked into paying. My money. I sat in the chair and told my story. All of it. The lies. The fear. The nights I couldn't sleep. The times I wished I could disappear because the pressure was too heavy. And the therapist listened, really listened. She didn't yell. She didn't blame. She didn't tell me it was my job to fix the mess my family made. She looked at me with kindness I hadn't felt in years. The twist? Someone finally cared how I felt. Not what I could pay for. Not what I could fix. Just me. Then I did something even harder. I began saving again. But this time, I saved for my real future. Not for someone else's rent. Not for someone else's lies. Not for someone else's emergency, which was never real. Not for a fake disability claim cooked up behind my back. This time, I saved for my life. $1 at a time. One choice at a time. One step at a time. I watched my bank account slowly rise, little by little. And each time the number grew, even a tiny bit, something inside me grew too. Hope, strength, belief. Every deposit felt like taking a piece of my life back from the people who tried to steal it. The twist? Every dollar felt like a victory. A quiet, powerful victory. Last month, I got a call from the investigator. My chest tightened the second I saw the number. Every fear I ever had came flooding back. But when I answered, his voice wasn't angry. It wasn't stern. It wasn't disappointed. His voice was calm, warm, almost proud. He said, "Case closed. You're cleared. There. Accountable now." I didn't breathe for a moment. Cleared. The words sank into me like sunlight. Like warmth. Like something gentle touching a wound that finally stopped hurting. It felt like someone had opened a locked door inside me. A door that had been shut for too long. The twist? Justice finally chose me. Not them. Me. After the call ended, I sat down on my couch and breathed deeply, truly deeply for the first time in months. For months, I felt scared. For months, I felt tricked. For months, I felt alone, even in a crowded room. For months, I carried a secret that wasn't mine to carry. But now the truth stood beside me. The law stood beside me. My new life stood beside me. I wasn't alone anymore. The twist? I didn't need my family to feel whole. I just needed the truth. People sometimes ask me what happened with my family. They expect a dramatic story. They expect shouting, broken plates, slammed doors. They expect a sad ending where I walk away crying. But that's not what happened. I smile calm, steady, and give them the real answer. You don't lose a family when you walk away from thieves. You gain a life. They can't spend. Because that's what happened. That's the truth no one expects. I didn't lose anything. I didn't break anything. I didn't ruin anything. I protected the only thing I had left. The only thing worth saving. The only thing that was truly mine. Me. My safety. My identity. My peace. My future. And the twist? I didn't just survive them. I finally escaped them. And the life I have now? It's the one they never expected I would build.